Hello everyone, I'm Dead Knight and this is In It to Win It. Today we're going to be talking about the Shaman card pool in the Forged in the Barrens set. Forged in the Barrens is the first expansion in the Year of the Griffin, and we're going to talk about what I think is the best Shaman card, the worst Shaman card, and the card that is worthy of our discussion. So please click subscribe below, make sure you're getting updates to all of our channels and notifications when our videos come out. And let's get into Shaman. So, best card in this set for Shaman is Firemancer Flurgl. This guy is a 2/3 for 2 mana, and whenever you play a Murloc, it is going to deal 1 damage to all of your opponents, so all their minions and their face. By itself would not be super spectacular, but the card pool that Murloc is getting, especially Shaman, is just looking insane. We've got a really great 1-drop Murloc that's Shaman only, a really great 2-drop Murloc that's Shaman only, some great neutral Murlocs, and not to mention that we still have Crab Rider and any of the Murlocs that came out during the Year of the Phoenix. So you have a ton of great cheap Murlocs to drop on your opponents, and Firemancer Flurgl is going to be burning their face like crazy in this situation. It is the capstone to the great pool of Shaman Murloc cards. So we've already seen this exact same effect from Altreus the Outcast, which is the Demon Hunter, 4/2 for 4 after being nerfed. It used to cost 3. That anytime you play an Outcast card, it deals 1 damage to your opponent's board. This guy costs 2 mana, so you can get him out sooner, or you can play more cards once he's out, and it doesn't matter where the Murlocs are in your hand. You drop a Murloc, it's burning your opponent's board. When you look at what kind of tempo swing you can have with this guy, you can imagine something on turn 5 where you play this guy, and then you play 3 1-cost Murlocs. You just nuke your opponent's entire board, and you've got 4 minions on the board now. It is just unthinkable how much damage this guy can put out, what kind of board states you can get by torching your whole opponent's board with this, and I think that it is the unnecessary capstone to Shaman Murloc archetype that we might be seeing defining this next year. So, I'll tell you what card I don't think is going to be in that ensemble. It is Tinyfin's Caravan. Yet another Caravan for me to hate on. This is also a 1/3 for 2. It is not a Murloc, and at the start of your turn, you get to draw a Murloc from your deck. So yes, tutoring for a Murloc is a good thing. Doing it at the start of your turn with a minion that would have had to be on your board for your entire opponent's turn when it's only a 1/3 is a bad thing. Most early game minions are going to roll over this guy. If you're playing this guy for 2 mana, you're not playing a dominant Murloc for 2 mana like Crab Rider, so it's just going to get dealt with by either your opponent's minions or spells, and many times not draw you a Murloc. If it does draw you a Murloc, then you've paid 2 mana for a 1/3 that draws you a Murloc. So you've got a slightly better Novice Engineer, which is not what you want to be playing in an aggressive Murloc deck. So I don't think there's really any reason to put this guy in your deck, pretty much any deck. So maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I don't think so for this guy. And then as far as what our discussion card is, I really would like to talk about Arid Stormer. So this guy is a 2/5 for 3 mana, and battle cries if you played an elemental last turn, then you get Rush and Wind Fury with this guy. So 2/5 for 3 Rush Wind Fury Elemental would be pretty dominant. We already saw how dominant Crab Rider has been at a 1/4 for 2 Murloc. So this would be +1/+1 for 1 extra mana and an elemental synergy. I would expect some really good things from that, except that it comes with the same problem as all the other elementals, which the synergy is you had to have played an elemental last turn. So that means that you need to carefully choreograph your plays, which means that you don't always get to respond to your opponent in the way that you need to. If you really need to play a spell, but you really wanted to play Arid Stormer on your following turn, now you can't do that anymore. So being locked up by elemental synergies makes it harder to make this card good. So if the elementals are just so strong that you're going to be playing a solid elemental every turn anyway, then this guy is an absolute beater on the board and is going to be a game changer. Um, we see some potential with that because there is a 1 mana neutral elemental that reduces your next elemental by 1. So you could play this guy on turn 2 with the proc and get a 2/5 Rush Wind Fury out on turn 2, which is dominant. And you're basically going to be controlling the board for most of the game in that situation. In other situations, you may fall behind. You may not be able to play this guy at all because you need to respond to your opponent. So it just remains to be seen how elementals play out. They played out pretty well in the Ngoro Crater expansion. We got to see those elemental synergies work even with the play an elemental last turn problem. So maybe we will see some action with this guy. What do you think about him? What do you think about the rest of the Shaman cards in this set? Please leave a respectful comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next time.